Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the Hawaiiverse Podcast, a podcast that supports local by going on Instagram to see stories of the volcano erupting, then skipping 5 more stories and seeing more stories of volcano erupting, and then posting stories about volcano erupting. There's so many volcanoes erupting. Oh, hold on. I gotta go post a picture and a video about the volcano erupting. Just joking. All right, so today we have a very special episode because our guest was supposed to come here right now when we're recording, but he unfortunately caught COVID, and I was actually sick a couple days ago too, so I wasn't sure if I would be here. I think it's just something going around right now, but luckily I don't have COVID. So right now I'm just sitting with my producer and videographer and friend. I guess I would say friend. Jordan.
We're working on our friendship.
Jordan Tano here on the Hawaiiverse Podcast for a special episode. So we thought it would be fun if we just talk stories about basically everything. Break down some of the podcast episodes. We're live on Instagram right now. So if, I guess people listening to this, you already missed the boat, so you can't ask any questions. But people live on Instagram right now, you guys can leave some questions and I'll answer it. So if you're listening to this on the Instagram live and you ask me a question, then you listen to this a couple weeks after, you'll be on top of the episode. So that's pretty cool. So before we get into everything, I do want to stick with the normal format of asking my guest, even though he's not really our guest today. Where are you from, where you grad, and what was it like growing up? Just so you guys get to know our producer and videographer and friend, Jordan, the one that I always mention on the podcast. He's in front of the camera today.
Yeah, the Boyz episode.
The Boyz.
I'm from Hilo, Hawaii. And I actually met Kamaka in high school. What high school we went to?
Oh, Kekula Onavio Kalaniopuu.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you say it?
And then growing up was good. I actually met Kamaka throughout high school at our immersion school. I'm not even Hawaiian. And then I met you in Kaiser. In Kaiser.
And then when you were in the Peace
I actually
Corps as
ran
well.
into him in Madagascar when we were in Peace Corps. The P is silent.
The S is
the
silent.
S is silent.
Yeah. Not corpse.
It's
Peace
not corpse.
Corps.
It's corp.
Peace Corps.
Shout out Momi. And then from there, I met him in the race to 50K.
Oh, you also were paying off your student loans.
Yeah, I met him in a bank line.
Yeah, because you can't just pay it off online. You'd go to the actual bank.
We had to go to the bank to beg them.
Yeah.
To
pay off.
Yeah, to forgive us, basically.
Yes, forgive. Student loan forgiveness. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm from Milani.
Milani.
I wasn't born here though. I was born in Guam. Moved here when I was 3.
Wait, I didn't know you were born in
Dude,
Guam.
Kamaka, I told you this.
What?
Kamaka.
Wait, for real? Are you just joking or?
PSA, Kamaka doesn't listen.
I'm a great listener.
Kamaka doesn't listen. When he's on the pod, he's just looking at his laptop and he doesn't listen. Like he's just, I told you that. I was born in Guam, moved here when I was 3, and then I'm been here ever since. Grew up in Milani, graduated Milani High School, go Trojans, went to Manoa.
Yes, we're both
Rainbow Warriors.
Rainbow Warriors.
We're both rainbows.
Yes, rainbows. All right, so what was it like growing up? What kind of
go
things
that
were you
deep?
into?
We're gonna go that deep?
Nah, real quick, and then because nobody really cares about your life.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Kamaka just doesn't feed me. Kamaka doesn't, he doesn't even pay me, man. I don't know. Grew up in Milani.
You're a water baby, yeah?
I was a water baby. Surfed, and I played reggae music. I still play reggae music.
Yeah, check him out. He plays the drums. You see him at some local venues.
Yeah, so that's kind of my life. And we'll get into it because I think we'll get into a lot of topics that we'll dive into our childhood.
Yeah, okay.
To explain.
Yeah, let's get into it. People on Instagram, feel free to leave some questions, some topics for us to talk about. All right, so basically after every podcast episode, when the guests leave, me and Jordan, we just talk about like,
We
oh, what
just
did you think
talk
about that
our
episode?
crap, man.
We just say,
Honestly.
what do you think about that guest? You know,
Yeah.
did you enjoy listening to certain like topics of conversation? We break it down a little bit. We, you know, especially like the real local ones, like the Hawaiian stuff, right? The local stuff. It's like, what do
Yeah.
you think about, you know, being Hawaiian, being not being Hawaiian but being local, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that we all love to talk about, right? And like we're just very confused about. Yeah, and Jordan can go into it a little bit more.
We're just gonna go deep right
Yeah,
now.
let's just go.
Okay, well,
deep.
let's see. What's the recent one we were talking about? Dwayne and Kahi.
Dwayne and Kahi, yeah.
I think it'll be out by the time this one comes out.
Yeah, so that one was interesting because they're two people who appear very local, just the way they look, the way they act, the things that they do, but they're not Hawaiian.
They're not Hawaiian.
Which is crazy. You wouldn't think that, right?
Yeah, and I think the big takeaway there that we discussed was like blood.
Yeah,
Like
blood quantum.
what value does that have really? What does that even mean? You know,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, like we're just humans, I think.
Yeah.
And we talk about this thing of like, it's only here, only in Hawaii is everyone so
Fixated on blood quantum.
on trying to like scrape for an identity and like these definite, like trying to add all of these things to just a word.
Mm-hmm.
It really is just a word. At the end of the day, if we're being logical, you know, people might get offended, but it's just a word to describe a type of people that came from somewhere. Just like how I'm Filipino. And I actually went on a pod where they asked me, what does it mean to be Filipino? And I'm like, just Google it. And it's going to tell you someone from the Philippines.
Yeah.
And that's really what, you know, for getting down to what the actual word is, that's what it is. And then I think everyone is just attaching emotional things to it now,
Mm-hmm.
which they can if they want.
But you're right. It is something that really only matters in Hawaii. Like you don't really hear about these things other places. I mean, I feel like maybe in smaller communities with specific cultures, like maybe Native American cultures, you hear about that. But I don't know if blood quantum means so much anywhere else than Hawaii, with like land and like getting into schools and like, you know, to me, I mean, it's cool. I'm super proud that I'm Hawaiian, but like my blood doesn't really define me. Like I am who I am, not because of my blood, but because of how I was raised and like the things that I do, the people that I hang around with, you know?
Yeah, I think the thing people need to figure out is like what measuring, what is that measuring, and what are we going to use that measurement for? Like I think while we were eating lunch before we shot this, I was like, I think it makes sense that, you know, if I'm not Hawaiian, I shouldn't be able to own land in Hawaii. I think that's a good measuring scale. But then there's so much gray. Like you said, you can't apply for homestead, yeah?
Yeah, I'm like
And
10,
Kamaka's
15
freaking Hawaiian, dude.
like 10-15% Hawaiian maybe.
And look how much he's doing, you know? And it's like, I think it's one way to measure. I don't think it's the definite way to measure. Just like, I mean, we were saying when you walk on the street, no one is using that lens to judge. I think the most basic human element of judging is just by action.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? No one's going around with their piece of paper with their ethnicity bloodlines.
Yeah. We're not walking around with name tags, Hawaiian, Filipino, Korean.
Filipino, this GPA, this. It's like, no, your actions, I think, is the number one scale or measurement of a person.
Yeah, that's why I've always thought of Hawaiian. I mean, as I've gotten older, I always looked at Hawaiian as more of a mindset, a way of living. Because like my values, I mean, like to me, I don't think I'm like super Kanak, like Hawaiian. Like I can speak Hawaiian. Yeah. I went to Hawaiian immersion school. I have Hawaiian values, but basically what I feel makes me Hawaiian is the way I live, like the values I live by. Ho'ihi, respect, ha'aha'a, humbleness, you know, aloha, love, all these things. I feel those things make me Hawaiian, not so much my blood. Momi814 said blood quantum is what the feds use to put on Kanaka Maoli, you know? Is just something that they made up. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when I'm walking around looking at people, I'm not just thinking like, oh, I like that person more because they look like they have 70% blood, Hawaiian blood, you know?
Yeah.
And then I think more so people judge each other off color
Yeah.
than blood, if we're being super honest, you know?
Yeah. It's like, there's just, now that I'm thinking about it, it's just there's different ways to judge or to measure things. Like, you just think of physics. Like, you don't measure a table the same way you measure liquid.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's different ways to measure different things in the world. You know, and
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not Hawaiian and I don't have a dog in the fight, but I think it happens. You can replace Hawaiian with any other culture, I think.
Yeah.
And in terms of cultural identity and being a minority and trying to figure out where you fit in the spectrum, I think there's a ton of different ways to measure it.
Yeah.
I mean, and when I was on the pod with Chachi, our friend Chachi, the Filipino pod, it was like I was really insecure to go on it because I'm pretty, like, not that Filipino cultural wise.
Yeah.
But she's the one that told me, like, that is why you should go on, because you are a part of what it means to be Filipino.
The spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah. If you are all the way on this side, it doesn't matter. You contribute to the conversation of what it's like to be Filipino.
Yes. Yeah.
You know? And even, I think, non-Filipinos have a perspective and have something to contribute.
Yeah.
You
Same with people who aren't Hawaiian or aren't native to this land. They also have things to contribute to the conversation, to the community, to the lifestyle over here. And somebody they're asking a question, but we'll get to that right after. But yeah, basically I was just gonna agree with you and be like,
I think the scary thing that will kind of is who has authority. I think that's the biggest question.
who has the say of like what is right and what is wrong?
Yeah.
I don't think we know that. I think we're just trying to
Yeah.
we're trying to figure that out. Like you said, we're scratching for an identity because here, because of our culture was almost taken away, we're trying to rebuild, reclaim, but also discover.
And like, can you redefine? Like, is there a rule that you cannot redefine what a modern day Hawaiian is? Or I don't know.
It's just we're a mix of so many cultures here in Hawaii, ethnicities and everything. It's like, okay, well, I want to be Hawaiian, but does that mean I can't be Japanese anymore?
Yeah,
or Korean,
yeah.
or Filipino?
Yeah.
Like if I'm Hawaiian, if I'm claiming I'm Hawaiian first, do I only have to act Hawaiian?
Yeah.
Like how do you bridge the gap between all of these ethnicities and cultures?
And then one is not better, and one is not better than the other.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing.
I think we think that we've had it harder than everybody wants to think that their life is harder than someone else's. And I think, like, yes, there is real trauma. There is real sad things that has happened to the Hawaiian culture, especially with the language. But if you look at the history books, you go to other places, we're not much different than a lot of other places.
I mean, I hate to be the devil's advocate, and I hope I don't get beat up on the street for saying this, but
Beat 'em up.
you survived.
Yeah, we're resilient.
There's a ton of cultures out there and people that we don't even know of because they got wiped off the face of this earth.
Yeah, true.
You know, hard is hard.
Yeah.
You know, there'll always be something harder, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Love it. Okay, let me respond to this person on Instagram Live. They Dew of Heavens wants to know, they say aloha Dew of Heavens. Can you talk about Mauna Loa eruption? What is your mana'o on visiting it or taking pics, etc.? Some people are saying to give it distance because it should be kapu or sacred. What do you think? I mean, I was just on the Big Island the day before it erupted. I think it's beautiful. It's like this beautiful, scary thing. And like if you look at it, you know, at a very like local Hawaiian level, like sacred level, like you could say there's so much ho'ailona, like signs of like Pele, of our ancestors, things like that. But at just a very, I guess, macro level, you just see it on the surface, like it's beautiful. It's scary. Use logic. Don't get too close. Take pictures from afar. Appreciate the glow. Appreciate the beauty nature has given to us. I would definitely tell tourists not to come and visit just because you want to see an erupting volcano, because that's just gonna you're gonna put yourself in danger, and then that's gonna put our locals in danger because we're trying to save you or stop you from doing something stupid. Because I feel a lot of the times something happened just because somebody not from here, they're trying to do something that they shouldn't be doing. Just like people going on hikes, exploring, going off to the sides, falling down, and then you ruin it for everybody else because you weren't cautious, you weren't respectful of the land or anything. The eruption, I mean, it's cool. I think let nature happen. Let nature do what it does. If you believe in the Hawaiian gods, let Pele do her thing. She's alive. She's making new land. This is a living volcano. We're literally living on a volcano. That's crazy to think about, right? But yeah, enjoy it. Appreciate this. Like, not everybody gets to experience these kind of things in their lifetime, so appreciate it. Take pictures from afar. Take videos from afar. Just be respectful in everything you do. Just be respectful. That's all I have to say.
Where do you sit or kind of stand with the I guess Hawaiian religion sort of belief system?
Well, so I grew up going to a Hawaiian immersion school, but I also grew up Christian. My dad and my mom, my family, they're super religious. So I grew up in like was it non-denomination? I don't know what the words are. Just Christian. I went to New Hope. So, you believe in one God. And then learning stuff in school, in Hawaiian history, you have many gods, Oh, my phone's at 20%. Okay. But yeah, so you have many gods. So I wasn't super into the mythology of it. I thought the stories were cool. I think it's cool to talk about it. I mean, it's like Greek mythology, right?
Yeah.
I personally never believed in it. I respect it. I think they're super cool. I see it more as not gods but ancestors, whatever form that may be. Maybe Pele wasn't an actual like female goddess like figure, like human being. Maybe it was just a volcano, and it's like we looked at this volcano and we kind of made it become a deity as a way to honor the land, because Hawaiians had connections to the land. So maybe when we say we believe in these gods, maybe we believe in land. We believe in the creation of like these physical beings, but not like human beings, So yeah. I never believed in it when I was in school.
And then there's that whole thing Leon said, yeah? He was like, the because what is it called when you believe in multiple?
Yeah, I was trying to think of polytheistic.
Poly something.
Anybody know poly?
But that wasn't the original religion, right?
Yeah,
it was implanted from some sort of.
Yeah, well, there was the was it the actual main god that came, or there's like the fake god that came from Tahiti or something like that. Yeah,
stuff like that fascinate me, man.
Yeah,
because it's like
you need a historian to talk about all these.
I think that like seeking truth and figuring out, like especially when it comes to claiming culture, if you really want to go down that rabbit hole, I don't think everyone needs to, honestly.
Yeah.
But if that will give you purpose in life, I think you should question everything, because that blew my mind when he said that.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of Hawaiians out here would think that that's like the true religion, but then to figure out that was implanted by another culture.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, it's like how far are you willing to dig in history?
Right.
Because the farther you dig, you're gonna find out stuff that you don't want to find out, and it might change the way you think about things. It's just like, I mean, the simplest thing, like when we talk about the last couple years of the pandemic, it's like when you go into like really deep into some things like medical field, You're gonna find out some super messed up things. You know.
Wait, I think it's true. I think we only seek truth to the point that we're comfortable with.
Yeah, we don't want to.
Like,
we
it's
don't
just
want to hear
validation.
anything. Yeah, exactly. That invalidates our thoughts and beliefs. That's why this whole pandemic with the vaccine stuff was, it was such a big thing with people, because they don't wanna believe that the doctors are someone you can't believe.
Yeah.
That the elites are someone that you can't trust.
And honestly, this is what I was thinking on the way here this morning. I think that's how it is in Hawaii, to be completely honest, with different levels. Because obviously, you ask a lot of, at the end of every podcast, you ask Hawaiian culture sort of questions to every guest.
Yeah.
And we get to see a ton of different, I guess, levels of, involvement or sort of passion for that topic. And I think, honestly, for the majority of people out there, like, they want to remain ignorant.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss. I mean,
I
that's
think,
a saying for a reason.
And I think they want to remain ignorant. Now, is that right or wrong? That's for you to decide.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we all do it to a degree. Because, if there's a Hawaiian out there that's saying, that's messed up, you need to know everything. Well, I don't know, man. Like, I get it. I get where that's coming from. But we don't know what people have to go through to make that phone that you're watching the podcast on.
Yeah.
Like, or what you had to go through in Madagascar, what the rest of the world is going through in order for us to sit in a first world like country. Yeah,
a developed nation with so many things. The reason why we're a developed nation is because other people in other countries had to suffer.
Yeah.
So we can live this life.
So I think no one's hands are clean, I think. Yeah. But I get it. I do believe that I am a guest. I will always be a permanent guest, and that's maybe sad. That's like a topic that I think we could talk about.
Guest in Hawaii or just on Earth?
In Hawaii. And maybe that too, dude.
How deep are we getting?
Because we can get that deep. We're talking about that with like blood, right? Yeah. Like, okay, if you're Hawaiian or I'm Filipino, okay, that means we have some sort of claim, if that's the word we want to use, on this piece of land.
Okay.
We'll zoom out. Like, all of us humans are guests on this earth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to look into Hawaiian history, is like, we don't own the land. Nobody should have ownership on the land.
Whoa.
We are part of, like, the land provides for us. We are slaves to the land. There's a saying, he ali'i ka aina, he kaua ke kanaka. The land is chief, humans are its servants. So, I mean, if you want to talk about blood quantum and us owning land, but also say we're the servants to the land and the land is a chief, then that doesn't make sense. Yeah. And I didn't even think about that till I just said that right now. That's crazy. Wait, hold on. Momi814. She wants to know, how are those living off grid on odor flows dealing with the eruption? Plenty tourists go there too. I actually don't know. I don't know that. I think everything's fine though. I think they from the first one they evacuated. Right now, with the Mauna Loa stuff, I have no idea. It's happening as we speak, so I don't know what if people had to get evacuated or not. So, yeah, I don't know. Stay tuned. I'm sure by the time this episode comes out, there'll be a lot more information.
Yeah, don't ask Kamaka.
Yeah.
Kamaka's not the news.
I'm not the news. I just talk stories.
But shout out Momi.
Yeah, Momi, you're a real one, asking great questions and being involved, engaged on this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not an expert at all in Hawaiian stuff. Yeah,
but I
leave that to you.
I like your opinions on things, and I like you're very blunt on some of the
I'm not,
stuff.
because I think I could change my opinion tomorrow. I might be wrong. We might all be wrong, dude. We could have
100-something episodes of the podcast, and every episode is different. Everybody has different opinions, and then at the end of the day, when we're old and gray, we find out the truth about what is being a Hawaiian. What does it mean to live on Earth? We could just all be wrong. So that's why you can't take everything everybody says as truth, as like this is like the silver bullet. This is the only option, the only thing we can believe in. There's so much nuance out there, you know?
Yeah, and my thing is like, are you on the quest for truth to satisfy your ego, or are you on the quest for truth to actually like gather information to make you a better human?
Yeah.
I think that's what it should be. It shouldn't be like, I'm on the quest for truth so I can just like slam people with the truth because they're less of me because they don't know this information. Like, you don't need to know. You don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
You don't.
Well, that's why people fear what they don't know, so they try to understand things. They want to know everything, and what they don't know, they label something. They want to label something. That's why we try to Hawaiian, Filipino, Korean, Japanese, French, German, because we have to label things or we don't understand it. We don't understand it without a label. You know?
I wonder. Here's my last thing on like an outsider's perspective on being Hawaiian is like, I wonder if they questioned themselves when they're back in the day.
Oh, I don't think so, because there was nothing besides. I don't think they questioned themselves until they were introduced to other people. It's the same thing. So like, I thought about the perspective of luxury, or how luxury is perspective. Like when I was living in Madagascar, poor, ugly houses, people don't have a lot of money. Some people have never even been outside of their city to the capital because they can't afford, or it's just too far. And you know how when people come over to our houses here in like Hawaii, and you're like, oh, sorry, it's so messy. Oh, sorry, my house isn't that nice. We get super self-conscious about not having a nice house comparing to other people. Well, that's because we compare, right? But when I was in Madagascar, people would just invite you into their house. It's not nice. They barely have food. They barely have any money, but they're so happy and so willing to share. It's because they're not comparing themselves to others. You don't know you're missing out on something until you see that stuff. It's like, okay, well, I wasn't sad that I lived in this rundown house until I saw what a mansion is. And now I want that mansion, because like the poorest person isn't the one who has the least. It's the one who wants the most. So, if you don't have a lot of needs, you're good. You're going to be happy. You're going to live a good life. That's how I live my life,
Yeah, I think that's like a life hack. You want to be happy, just go somewhere that's a really sad place, and I think it'll make you happy instantly.
You wonder, why are these people happy? And it's not that they don't have struggle. It's not that they don't have hardship, and they have a better life than you. It's because they're the way they think. Their mindset is just different, right? They know maybe like mansions, nice, beautiful cars aren't a thing. Maybe they can want that. They can work towards it, but they know like, well, if I don't have that, my life is still fine.
Yeah, and it honestly comes down to you.
Yeah,
that's kind of like a paradox though, because it's like, do you want to be happy? Are you willing to give up what you think happiness is for what real happiness is?
Yeah,
I don't think a lot of us would want to do that. Yeah, honestly, even though we all say we want to be happy,
but what are you willing to sacrifice?
Exactly. I think that's like the paradox. Like, you think happiness doesn't require sacrifice, but it does.
Yeah. For me, I'm happy. I could say I'm honestly happy. I could die right now and I'd be content with all the things I've done.
That's tough.
No, yeah, but seriously, I'm so happy with the life I've lived at 29 years old. Take me off of this earth, I'm good. I don't want to, but so don't actually take me.
What do you think the big shift was? Do you think you could say that same answer before you went to Madagascar?
No. That was the life-changing
that was your big catalyst.
It was literally a spiritual awakening. You know how people like go to monasteries, live with monks, they have a psychedelic trip, whatever it is, they take ayahuasca. That was my Peace Corps, was my ayahuasca. Because you live alone in the middle of nowhere, you see this totally different life that people are living. You just gain so much appreciation. You're with yourself, just thinking about life, like what makes me happy, what makes me angry, what makes me sad. How do I get through these tough moments when you don't have nothing but yourself? And then you realize, well, I don't just have myself. I have my neighbors, I have other people, you think I'm alone, I'm so sad. Yeah, maybe you're physically alone, but I got friends and family here in Hawaii. I have friends and family in Spain, Argentina. I have my neighbors, everybody in the community who are willing to help me. So at the end of the day, you're not alone. So it's just realizing, coming to terms with, like, you're, at the end of the day, like, yes, we're alone, but like, that doesn't mean you have to be lonely and feel like you have nobody with you. So, I mean, relationship to self is the biggest thing. Like, I love myself. I don't need anybody else. I could live alone. I could die alone, and I'll be perfectly fine. I think humans were social beings, so we do need the social interactions. But for the most part, I think I could be on my own and I'll be fine. So just realizing how much I love my alone time changed everything. It's like realizing, like, I don't need these expensive clothes. I don't need external happiness with, like, buying things. I never buy things, really. Just coming to terms and realizing all these things while I was over there, and just seeing how the Malagasy people are so happy with so little. I'm just like, okay, then what are we doing?
Do you ever find yourself kind of drifting away from that, and then you have to reel yourself back to that, to closer to, I don't know what you would call it, that sort of mindset?
Yeah. I mean, because when you come back, you just kind of fall into the same routine patterns.
And day to day, I think we fluctuate in, like, mindsets.
No, I think I've been able to, like, stay true to it. Like, I spend money on food and other people. I don't.
And fantasy football.
And fantasy football.
Sports betting.
Yeah, but that's different.
That's an investment.
That's an investment.
That is your vice. But you should be proud of your vice.
No, I'm trying to help you guys understand. It's an investment.
No,
if
it's
I'm paying
not.
$500 buy-in for my fantasy football league with the hopes that I will get first place and win $3,000, that's an investment. It's like buying stock.
Brother,
it's
gambling.
It's betting on yourself.
It's gambling, my dude.
It's betting on yourself.
Brother, it's gambling.
Gambling on yourself.
Like, just say to the camera right now, Kamaka Dias and I have a problem.
Kamaka Dias is the best fantasy football player ever alive, invented. All right, okay. We Callie wants to know. Hold on, I just missed it. What are some of your guys' life hacks? I love life hacks. Shout out to my friend JC. He's the one who gave me this idea of asking guests life hacks on the podcast. I think after, like, episode, I don't know, 6 or 7, I started asking.
I think those are some of the most viral clips.
Yeah,
we get.
It seems like so some people come with literal life hacks, and I feel like some people just come with just, like, stuff that help their life, which is, I guess, a life hack. Mm-hmm. It's not like the thing you think about, like, where it's just like a physical life hack, right?
Let me ask you. What are, like, let's categorize the life hack that we're going to answer. What are a couple of things that you implemented in your life over your 29 years of life that really changed?
Not being offended by anything. Not taking anything personally.
That book, right?
4 Agreements.
So get that book.
Yeah, everybody should read the 4 Agreements. But the cool thing was I already kind of had that mindset. So when I read these books, it's like, it kind of, like, affirms, it validates how I live already, so it makes me more confident in the way I'm already living, because, like, I almost never get mad. I'm very chill, and it's because I don't take things personally, because I realized at an early age, when people do stuff, it's not because of me, it's because of them. It's something inside of them that makes them upset. It's how they're reacting to certain situations. We could both witness the same situation, the same thing can happen to us, but we react differently. But that's a personal thing, So
life hack: don't take things personally.
Don't take things personally. That's what it annoys me so much when I see.
It shouldn't annoy you though if you're not taking it personally.
Okay, yeah, but it doesn't. But what I'm like, it doesn't affect me. Is what I'm saying. But like, it's just like, man, it's not about you. Everybody wants to make like it's about them. Like, that person cut you off. Like they had a vendetta about you. Like, no, maybe they were just late, or maybe they just didn't see you. Maybe their rear view mirror wasn't adjusted correctly.
Yeah, I get it. I think we're just naturally self-absorbed beings.
Yeah.
Just because, survival. We got to worry about ourselves.
Yeah. I don't know. What is your favorite life hack
that I implemented? Yeah. It's going to be really cut and dry. I think I'm a dry person when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, it's so good so the people can know you. We gotta expose you.
If you don't make to-do lists, or plan your day ahead, like plan the night before, just like 3 things, 2 to 3 things you need to do, I do not know how you're functioning in life. Like, honestly. Like, and then you're gonna tell me, I know what people are gonna say. They're gonna be like, "Oh, I do totally fine without to-do lists." And I'm like, okay, now imagine if you implemented to-do lists. Your productivity would exponentially grow.
I'm a to-do list person. I have the little notes, whiteboard.
Dude, and I wasn't always a to-do list person. And it's not about writing everything down. It's just about writing 2 to 3 things down.
Yeah.
Whack it out.
Yeah, it's been effective over efficient.
Yeah, dude. And that's like one of the biggest things that changed, I think, everything. It changed everything in my life.
Yeah.
And I implemented that like a while back, but that's how I like to answer it, is like really practical things that actually made improvements in my life. To-do lists.
Yeah, that's good. I think to-do lists are awesome, and I'm the kind of person who would just write everything like surf.
Yeah.
Like even like those things like workout, yoga.
And that's true. That's like, okay. So that's
just so I feel
momentum matters.
Yeah, just like momentum, I feel like I did something.
Dude, momentum. Yeah. I think people underestimate momentum. Like, you need to stack small wins. Yeah. In order to do big things, you need to stack small wins, and giving yourself little things to do first to stack momentum of like courage and confidence. You got to do it. And the thing is, it's like a muscle. Like, courage is a muscle.
Memory. Yeah.
Like, meaning if you didn't do anything for the past 3 days, you got to start at the bottom again and stack your little wins. You're not going to be as courageous as you were 2 weeks ago when you're on just like a blazing trail.
Yeah. That's why they say the first thing you should do is just make your bed.
Make your bed. Yeah. Like, and people are going to be lazy. If you can't even make your bed, you're lazy.
I do that
I don't
too.
even care.
Sierra's on this live, and our rule is whoever leaves the bed last has to make the bed.
Sierra, Tempura. Shout out to you. I don't know how you live at Kamaka.
She asked a question. She said, "What's both of your favorite local places to eat?" I'm at 10% on my phone on Instagram, so we're gonna have to end the live soon.
Favorite place to eat? Well, we gotta shout out the smoothie spot we go to.
Oh yeah,
every single day.
Jojo Coffee, is that what it's called? I don't know. It's in Chinatown on 4th Street.
4th Street, right after Scarlet on the left.
Yeah,
it's below like an apartment complex, I think.
Ever. $4 for a large smoothie. You can add whatever you want. I usually get like avocado.
If you were a guest on the pod, you've had that smoothie.
Yeah.
And a musubi.
Yeah. That's the nearby closest podcasting place. I really like, I don't know if people remember this. There's a place called Your Kitchen on Kaimuki on 9th Ave, I think. When I was in college, they used to have that place. That was the best. They had this pork bowl with this egg on top. It was so good. But they closed down a while ago. But favorite places to eat, I have a lot in Hilo.
I have a lot in my part of Central Oahu. Yeah,
I mean, okay, like Coconut. I like that place. It's in Coco Marina Shopping Center. For acai bowls, that's one of my favorite. I like Bite the Eye in Hilo. It's a food truck. The best ahikatsu, Korean ahikatsu. Poke Market, super good in Hilo. Yeah, a lot. Those are probably like my top in Hilo, and then Oahu.
Nagoya Ramen.
I never been there. Oh, Wagaya. I've been to Wagaya Ramen. That place is good.
Nagoya Ramen, but you got to go to the one in Mililani. And then you got to go to Bale Mililani.
I like Bale. I used to go there at UH.
No, you got to go to the Mililani one. Everything is different. The lemongrass chicken is different. All their lemongrass stuff is different. Because they're all just like little family-owned franchises. You know what I mean? So they all cook differently.
Yeah.
Not all Bales are made the same, dude.
It's all different owners, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hawaiian food, I don't have a favorite place. It's called First Birthday Party. don't even come parties, at me.
Graduation.
Don't even try. Like, don't even act like you get it from a place. No. The best is at a birthday party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With
Birthday
the
party,
with the plates, with
graduations.
the rectangular plates.
Yeah, we know the plate, the party
You know
plates,
what I mean?
party
Dude.
little compartments.
If it ain't
You
on,
got
ain't on a metal
your
tray
uwala,
with a candle beneath it, I don't want it.
You got your poi, you got your lomi salmon, you got your lau lau, kalua pig, rice, all these things.
Could you get food poisoning? You can, but the risk is worth it.
Risk reward.
You know, risk reward.
Yeah.
Everything great comes with risk.
Haupia. They need to have haupia.
Better be on ice though.
Yes.
Because I think that's where we catch the food poisoning, if I'm gonna be honest.
Maybe, yeah. Or the
dairy.
People would probably think it's from the sour poi, but no, that's actually good for you. Sour poi is good for you.
Yeah, I think it would have to be like something that has like that could be spoiled.
Squid luau maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, squid luau guaranteed. The coconut milk upset stomach.
Do you need a refrigerated poi?
You don't. Well,
I have no clue.
Because it ferments.
Mm.
And it gives that sour taste, but it has a lot of probiotics, so it's good for you actually. A lot of people, like Hawaiians, they would eat sour poi, like days old poi.
Mm.
Yeah, that's just how it was. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna close up this Instagram live because my phone's dying. But mahalo everybody for joining. So,
we're back from a pee break.
Yeah, we had to go pee.
We went to a pee break.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Back from the pee break. Go.
And what did we talk about while we were in the urinal next to each other? We talked about what if Hawaiians or anybody, like what if anyone who wanted to become
local or Hawaiian?
A Hawaiian, you take a citizenship test or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you brought up a good point. When people come to America and they want to be an American citizen, they have to go and take a test.
Mm-hmm.
So if people want to be, I don't know if you can be Hawaiian, I guess. Because the thing is, Hawaiian is an ethnicity and nationality, which makes it even more tricky.
Yeah.
Because like American is not an ethnicity, it's just a nationality. So I think you take a test because of that. I don't really know. But anyways, if you want to live here, shouldn't you learn the history of Hawaii? Shouldn't you at least know some things about it? Shouldn't you be tested, I guess, a little bit? I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
And we're just like, the big thing always comes down to who has the authority.
Yeah.
And then you work backwards from there of like what gives them the authority.
Yeah. Is it blood quantum?
Because
you're more Hawaiian than me, you have a greater say?
Yeah. And it's like, who has the authority? Is there no one that has authority, or is this just all like an ego trip?
Yeah. Well, I think people want to have the authority. I think people want control.
You know? Or is it social Darwinism? Just the person who is the aggressor and claims authority. I don't know.
Whoever makes the move.
Which would suck. I don't want to get beat up, dude.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of other cultures, ethnicities out there that are much more capable than a smaller statued Filipino. You guys are more geared towards social Darwinism.
Yeah. You're asking me what you think about.
Oh yeah, here's a cool thing, because Kamaka's Hawaiian. I'm not Hawaiian. But we both agree on a lot of things, and we both agree on just being open-minded and discovering things by asking questions and trying to widen our perspective. And I think this is a unique chance to get his perspective on people like me. And when I say people like me, I'm just classifying locals who grew up here. And let's just throw in born, because it was, I came here when I was a couple years old. So even for people that are born here and raised here but do not have the Hawaiian blood, but this is their home. They love this place. They give back to this place on whatever spectrum you want to measure it on. But, what is your opinion as a Hawaiian? Like, is there a place for us? Is there not? Are we permanent guests? Is there a responsibility for us? Like, Dwayne was super big on kuleana.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, like, what say do I have? That's the thing, that it's like, why should people respect my opinion? I'm just like a grain of sand in the whole beach, right? Personally, I think we're a melting pot, and like Hawaii has become this melting pot of many different cultures and ethnicities, and I love it. I love that I'm mixed, that I'm part Hawaiian, part Japanese, part Korean, part Portuguese. I love the whole immigration life, like stories where, you know, everybody came together, shared food, shared their different cultures. I love that we have the plate lunch, even though it's not super healthy. I love that stuff, you know? I think culture, when it's shared, is beautiful. I think the more we share, the more, you know, I just feel like through the mixing of all these races comes opportunity, comes understanding, you know, comes disagreement sometimes. But I think, you know, together, as a whole, I think all the other subcultures, you know, other ethnicities, the minorities, because the minority is the majority over here. I think that's what makes Hawaii these days. I mean, we wouldn't have this answer a long time ago, but that's what it is today, and it is what it is, as the great Max Holloway once said.
It's true. I think that's what we said right before we started recording, is like, maybe this is Hawaii. This is the phase that Hawaii is going through. And it's not that it's not Hawaii, but it's just, this is a phase.
It's a different.
You know, what will it look like in the future? No clue.
Yeah.
No clue. But this is what it is now.
Yeah, because our great grandmothers and grandfathers, they're going to be like, this isn't the Hawaii that I remember. But, you know, when we're that age, we're going to be like, this isn't the Hawaii that I remember.
Exactly.
Because things evolve.
This is the Hawaii now.
Have you ever played Pokemon? Things evolve.
And I think that is an interesting fact. Like, I think we should embrace it, that this is our Hawaii.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're Hawaiian or not, like, you know, wherever you stand, if you're Hawaiian, like, maybe you just embrace it and be like, this is it. This is what it is. This is how I want the future to look, and then act upon that. But I don't know. I think it's weird when people like say this is not Hawaii, or like your thing, like this is not what our ancestors envisioned.
Well, it's just people are thinking, it's like they have a guidebook or handbook, like this is how it was back then, this is how it has to be now.
It's kind of like when we look at the younger generations, or like same way the older generations look at us as people, as like individuals, not even as as culture, but when we look at the Gen Zs, you know, we're not exactly like floored. But it doesn't devalue them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have every right to be the way they are.
Yeah.
It's not on us to be like, you shouldn't be like that because we weren't like that.
Yeah.
Like, why are you on your phones? That's their truth.
Well,
like,
everybody
that is
wants
their
people
life
to conform to them.
And I think that's the main thing.
You don't want to hang out around people that aren't like you.
And I think that's the main thing. And that was like what I got from Emily, the previous guest. Yeah. It's like, you have no right to tell people how to live.
Mm-hmm.
No one. I you know what I mean? You look in the mirror first and you fix you.
Yeah.
You know, fix yourself first. And then maybe if people ask you, then you have some authority to give some advice.
Yeah.
But they don't need to listen to you.
Well, when people try to make everybody think like them, believe like them, conform, that's called Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
That's Hitler. That's dictatorship. That's North Korea. Sorry, South Korea, not you guys. You guys are you have good food, I heard. Yeah. That's Japan, I think.
No, that's Korea.
That's Korea? They do
that's K-pop,
thing?
I think. I'm pretty sure. Don't come at us, man.
Yeah. But that's basically what it is. But yeah, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to understand ourselves, each other, the dynamic of what we live in. But yeah, I feel for the people who aren't Hawaiian or look local or act local, who are local or Hawaiian but they don't look Hawaiian. Because they're, you know, you will get judged, you will, you know, be under the microscope. But I was having this a similar conversation about just like how people are treated here. Like, for example, Howleys are treated here with Sierra, is that people, you know, they'll experience like a form of racism. I'm just going to call it what it is, or discrimination because of their skin, because they're Haole. And, you know, people will see tourists and Haole people, they'll be like, okay, well, I'm not going to respect you because of past generations of trauma. And then, you know, white people, they get offended, you know, they're like, but it's an authority thing too, kind of what Dwayne said in one of his episodes when we were talking about this, is that they're not in control anymore. They don't have the power. For the first time in their life, they're not the alpha, you know. But it only affects them when they come to Hawaii, because for the first time, because anywhere in the world, I guess not anywhere, but majority of the places, you're the alpha race. The white race is the alpha race. So when you come here, the minority is the majority. So you're at the bottom of the, you know, the food chain.
I think they just don't expect it, because I think there's places, I mean, if we're being blunt, if a white person goes into the hood in the mainland, you know, they're obviously not gonna, I think they're just expecting that I'm gonna come to Hawaii and it's a vacation destination and these people are love and aloha and I'm just gonna be on my vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they're gonna come out here.
Well, what about the people that live here too? That they're like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm always judged because I'm white, because I'm not from here.
I think it is what it is, dude. And I really like Mark Healy's like kind of perspective on it. Is it is what it is, dude. Like, but I will say I do think a lot of oppressed people in general, and if we're in Hawaii, it's gonna be the Hawaiians. And maybe dare we say Micronesians, like the really oppressed people.
I don't think we talk about Micronesians enough, how messed up what we did to them was.
I will say there's projection.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There could be a really nice haole person, but you will project because he's a free punching bag.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean? There's always someone looking, like how Dwayne was saying, there's someone on the west side. There'll always be someone waiting. Waiting. There will always be someone waiting. Whether it's, you know, we're talking about locals or not, anywhere in the world, there's an oppressed person waiting to let their anger out, you know? So I liked Mark Healy's answer where it's just the world we live in, and it was like that since the beginning days. You are not always going to be the alpha race, and you will have to learn how to submit. You have to learn how to fly under the radar. That's just how it is, dude.
Yep.
Like what are you going to do when there's a lion across from you?
Yeah.
Like, you think you're just going to Karen the lion? Like, you're not.
No.
Like,
no, you don't do that, you lion.
Like, the truth of the matter is we're entitled here, people. I think that's the bottom line. We live in a first world country. We are entitled. Hawaii being included.
That's why everybody should join the Peace Corps.
And here's a hot topic that I might get beat up for.
Yes.
The fact that we can focus on reclaiming Hawaiian-ness is a first world problem.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a hot topic. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but it...
What do you mean by that? Hold up as I stretch out my arm.
As you start to call up the boys to lick me. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's a topic that just came up in my head. Like, the conversations we have now, whether it's over gender, whether it's over, I don't know, abortion, whether it's over culture, that to me is first world problems.
I agree. I agree.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't be having those conversations. Yeah. We're blessed that we evolved that far, that we can now bring up these, you know, sort of topics. But it's a first world problem.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be mistaken.
Yeah, that's the thing I've had conversations with, you know, off the podcast with other people. After living in a place in a developing country where there's poverty. I've seen poverty in front of me, like face to face. It's not. I didn't see it on TV. I lived in a impoverished community for 2 years. I got water from a well. I pooped in a hole. I saw hanabatas running down kids' faces, ripped, raggedy clothes, kids having to, you know, cook dinner for their family at like 6 years old, stuff like that. You know.
I'm not saying that because it's a first world problem that we shouldn't be having the conversation. It's
still a problem.
I think what I'm trying to say is remind yourself that before you get into the conversation, and I bet you'll have a way more productive conversation because the ego and emotion will be out of it. You'll have a more logical train of thought, realizing that, you know, what you're actually talking about is kind of some sort of not privilege, but
it is a privilege.
You know,
like this is a privilege.
And then you can really get to the root of the problems instead of blowing it out of proportion. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's hard. One of the hardest things coming back from, you know, to this society is trying to relate to people and trying to be empathetic towards others, because man, some people's problems, to me, that's not even problems, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, man, if that's the hardest thing you've been through, you've lived a good life, you know? Like a big thing is like pronouns these days, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm gonna respect anybody that wants to, you know, be called a certain thing, but like, if people are getting super nuts about it without trying to explain themselves or why it's a problem, like, man, there's bigger issues than that to me. That's just my hot take. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be too controversial, but
now my hot take is we're in soft times.
People, I 100% agree. People are
like
soft. Everybody gets offended by everything.
And I think there's going to be hard times ahead.
Yeah.
And who knows if I might be soft, you know? I could be soft. I'm soft in areas of my life, but I think
things that mean more to you, you usually get more defensive.
Yeah. In general, I just think we've had it too good for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's going to take to
I think everybody needs to travel.
Well, there's going to be it's cyclical. Like, it's a cycle, and we're hitting that time where there's going to be hard times ahead and it will readjust us. You know, that whole hard times make hard people.
Yeah.
You know, hard people make good times.
Yeah.
Good times make soft.
Yeah.
Soft makes hard times.
Science.
Yeah. Bill Nye, the science guy.
Nah, yeah, it's just... And it sucks. People are afraid to speak their mind these days.
I think that is the scary thing.
They're afraid to get canceled. They're afraid to be judged. They're afraid to lose friends, lose a job possibly.
That is the scary thing. And here's the thing. I heard this is a hot take too, and a mental exercise I go through sometimes is like, the people you're afraid to offend are the ones that have the power. And that flips it on its head. Like, who are we afraid to talk about? You know, am I as a local, am I afraid to talk about Hawaiians? Because if I'm afraid to offend them, then they have some sort of power over me.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have power over government, but they have some sort of power over me. Or if we don't want to talk about transgenders or the, you know, certain LGBTQ plus things, maybe they have some sort of power. Maybe they're in control. If we don't want to talk about African Americans, you know, and we're afraid. If we're afraid, because I'll tell you this, I'll be straight up on this pod. Like, I go to LA a lot. Some of these guys, like, they just cross the street in the middle of the road, you know, in the middle of LA traffic. There's a group of like African Americans that cross the road. Bro, I'm scared to say something. Like, I'm scared to honk my horn. Because I'm like, man, am I going to be racist, bro? Like, are they going to turn this on me and act like I'm racist? But the truth is, I'm honking horn because, like, you guys are just, like, crossing in the middle of the road.
Yeah, yeah.
And it made me think, like, man, that fear of offending, they might have power. You know what I mean? And a good example of this is, like, China. Like, if you talk about the government, you're out, dude. You're out, bro. And so that's a good depiction of what it means of the people that you're afraid to offend. They're the ones that are actually in power.
That's almost like how I one of my favorite quotes is like, someone who angers you becomes your master. Like, they can only anger you if you let yourself be controlled by them. So that's why I don't get angry, try not to get angry at people, because it's like, I don't want them to have any control over me.
It's 100% true.
Yeah.
It is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, baby.
Yeah.
That's the truth of the matter. Kamaka and I are pretty...
I think we're neutral in most senses. Neutral, when I say neutral, as in, like, we want to hear all the sides. We want to have these conversations.
We're just pragmatic. We want to use rationality less emotion,
Yeah,
more
exactly.
logic.
Yeah, like
Is-
I
is
want to know why you believe a certain way, and I want solid sound arguments. I don't want just because it's right, because I said so, because it's offensive. Like, why is it offensive? Why is it offensive? Why is it more important than these other matters that we should be focusing on, like climate change or something like that, you know?
Here's before we jump, because I know we're gonna get into biohacking. Here's one that I wanna ask. Like, I think when the topic of like deoccupying Hawaii comes up, people like me get afraid.
Why?
Because it's like, dude, am I out, bro? Like, am I out? Like, this is my home, dude.
Don't they mean like the military?
Well, I don't know, but when they say it, like, when I think I'm just putting it out there because I know there's a bunch of people that probably think the same way that aren't Hawaiian.
Yeah.
That are just like, dude, when we talk about bringing the Hawaiian kingdom back, like, my guy, like, where do I go?
Well, one, we don't have the numbers. We're a small army.
That's true.
You know, if we need to basically bring all the plantation workers back to have an army.
Yeah, technically, aren't we a part of the Kingdom of Hawaii?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You know, the immigrants.
We need a historian on here to really break it down.
Leon, ask Leon.
Yeah, like who is considered Hawaiian? Because at one point, Hawaiian was just a nationality where it's like anybody born here or raised here or has citizenship is Hawaiian.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need, if we could just get somebody to just draw the line, yeah, and be like, this is what it is.
That's true.
We need like a Webster dictionary.
Yeah, but then the question comes down to then what? Like, that's just further defining things.
That's just like getting it FDA approved.
It's like, okay, the question will always come down to who has the authority, because really, I think what Hawaiians want is change, but change means that there needs to be an authority figure to decide, you know, what the changes are going to be, what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, who is that?
Yeah.
Who is that going to be? Is it a group of people? How is that group of people going to be? Are they going to be elected? Is there going to be some sort of thing? You know, like monarchies are lineage. You know, is there going to be some sort of lineage thing? I don't know. That's for you guys to figure out. But
I think we want change. We not necessarily change. We just want bennies, you know. We want benefits.
That too.
That's
what if you guys just want recognition?
That's
like,
all it is like.
And then that's it too. Like, is there? I don't know, right? I don't know. This is just an outside perspective.
Yeah.
Like, is there some sort of census? Like, America has a census of, you know, stats of this is what all these Americans say they want. Like, is there a Hawaiian census out there that's like, this is what the majority of the Hawaiians are saying, this is what the minority, like,
I think
there should be a Hawaiian census, bro.
I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I think this basic human like needs, we want to live, we want a place to live, we want shelter, we want food on our back, we want to be respected.
Yeah.
That's all it is, you know. Just give us a place to live. Hawaii's already so expensive to live. Help us afford to live here.
Yeah. I think that one's
you know?
huge. Dwayne talked about that.
Yeah,
how, like, the military brought in a ton of people, and that really opened my mind to what it really means to provide housing for Hawaiians, I think. Because it didn't really wrap my mind until he said that. Is like, you know, though every home purchased that's not a Hawaiian is taking away one from a Hawaiian.
Yeah.
You know, because there's only a limited amount of inventory. So, like, when the military flies in 1,000 families, that's 1,000 homes that are, you know, not given to.
Yeah. You know how I know we're super blessed and, like, I'm grateful to live here is because I never wanted to live anywhere else. Imagine, you know, the people that move here because they don't like where they come from.
Yeah.
Or they just think this place is better. Like, we live in, like, the top spot, you know? It's like Hawaii's the hot girl.
Yeah.
In the class.
Here's a question.
It.
Here's a question I wanted to linger on. Because I was looking at, like, the economy, and we if you really look at the economy, it's like massively tourism. Like we're talking about hundreds of billions.
Yeah.
And then the next one under that, I believe is not even 100 billion. It's just like in the 2-digit. So there's a big, I mean, fact check me. But I wonder if Hawaii would be this desirable without tourism. I wonder if it's just like a marketing scheme. Like how they market milk.
How they market cereal,
like,
breakfast.
Like I wonder.
Like the food pyramid. That's marketing.
That's why. So I wonder if Hawaii would be the place to be. I don't know. Because there's always like Fiji, Puerto Rico.
I guess it's bigger here.
I have no clue. I think maybe it's like, I don't know. I don't even want to say inaccurate stuff.
I don't know how this place became a tourist destination. I guess because of the trades. I don't know. It is beautiful. Just use your eyes, you know. It is beautiful,
but let's be honest. There's a lot of other beautiful places in the world. We're not the most beautiful, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
Huh. It's.
I will say it's the culture though.
Because we're part of America, maybe.
That's true. It might be like the prettiest.
Because
island.
You don't need a passport to get here. That's probably what it is. Because we're a part of America, you don't need a passport to get here. You don't need a visa to come here. Where if I wanted to live somewhere abroad, if I wanted to live in the Maldives, how do you say it? Maldives?
And then there's also the soft aspect to it, like just like how there's a brand around Canada Hawaii, being nice people.
Yeah, Hawaii's a brand.
I think Hawaii, the brand, not only is the environment and landscape beautiful, but the people.
Oh, thanks.
I'm also talking about me, okay? Talk about the locals too, okay? Because all you guys are just busy scrapping them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what we
blaming them for your, overthrow or whatever.
Yeah, we just like scrapping.
See, we're just in the middle. The locals just get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, right.
You know, we're the nice people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If I wasn't Hawaiian by blood, I wonder if I would have a totally different perspective on these things.
Well, that's another thing too. Like, what's your percentage?
Less than 15.
Yeah, and look, would you say that's your most dominant culture?
Well, I claim to be Hawaiian before anything else, but it's not because of my blood. It's because of
the values of that.
Yeah, how I was raised. I was raised in a Hawaiian household. I went to a Hawaiian immersion school. You know, so I mean, because I feel like if you look at me, you probably wouldn't think I'm Hawaiian. You know,
guarantee Mexican.
Yeah, if I'm gonna go to California. And
Malagasy
they're
for
gonna
sure.
think I'm, Mexican.
The amount of times you mention Madagascar, I would think you're Malagasy. Kamaka. Straight up.
I gotta start speaking.
Hey, did you know he was in the Peace Corps, and he's
I was in the Peace Corps in Madagascar.
And then immersion school too. This guy.
Yeah, I speak Hawaiian.
Yeah. Hawaiian first language.
Hawaiian first language. Yeah, you got it.
Just letting you guys know if you didn't know. 50 something episodes in. If you didn't know that about Kamaka.
Thank you. I don't think they
we didn't say it in this episode.
I'm
that's
sure
why.
the people listening to this an hour in didn't know that.
We didn't say it in this episode. So we have to.
Yeah, sorry.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. Before talking about biohacking, I feel like people want to know a little bit about the podcast. Like, how did you get involved in this? How did we kind of blow up? How do we get guests?
I think you were doing it for a while, for like 6 months maybe, before I hit you up.
Yeah.
Hit up Kamaka. I had like a creative agency, multimedia production company before, and I basically just cold DM'd him, and I wanted to use him as a pro bono because I had like a content strategy I wanted to test out. Basically, it's the Gary V strategy. If anyone knows Gary V, basically long format, cut it up, distribute it to feed all your social platforms. And so I wanted to do it with a podcast because none of the clients I had wanted to do it. So I was like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going to go find someone that's down and just try. And then I'm going to like let you guys know how it went. So that's what we did. Met Kamaka and Moku. Told me they had no budget. I was like, I hate you guys. And then... well,
everybody thinks we have like this high budget because our quality is good or like because we're here. But... we started this for $0.
Yeah, so then joined them and then just attached. The content was already there, just attached a higher like content production quality, and then distribution is what I think worked the best, is making sure we had clips every single day.
Shotgun approach.
Yeah, just filling up, because the hour and a half content was already there sitting on the internet, but it's not being distributed properly.
Yeah.
So then we did that, and it worked.
Yeah. So Jordan kind of responsible for the podcast growing to
Team effort.
I mean, just
Team effort.
The high quality content plus the 7 clips a week. That was the recipe.
And then picking gems.
Yeah.
And then
getting the nugs.
Getting advertisers on. But we're looking for a videographer.
Yeah, if people want.
So if you listen this long, maybe we'll clip this and we'll put it as a job posting.
Yeah, so here's our job post. If anybody wants to come,
videographer.
Do we have money to pay them, or is it internship? Volunteer.
We'll probably
we'll take care of you. We'll take you to dinner.
I'll get to focus on advertising 100%.
Yeah, we could, because if you come on and do this, you as the audience come on and help us with the videography. Jordan can do the advertising and get sponsorships, so we can pay you.
Yeah, that's where I belong.
And honestly, we really just need somebody to click the button.
That's true.
This is
really
all we need. It's a very
if we're talking about effectiveness, this is not the most effective time or way of that Jordan should be being used. I think Jordan
we just need
can be
somebody to
else.
press a button and set it up. You get to meet the cool guest. It's pretty.
Yeah, I think that's one thing
good.
that was cool. Meeting all the guests. What's your favorite episode? I feel like everyone asked that.
Yeah, I love everybody for a different reason.
Give me your top 3.
Well, it's like top people I met or top episodes, because like meeting Bretman Rock was super cool just because he's super famous.
Top conversations.
Conversations? Oh, that's hard to think about.
Yeah, stop being a clout chaser.
Top convos. I really enjoyed McKenna Maduli, because she's a pro. She can talk and
talk story
with McKenna Maduli. So it was just so easy to talk to her. So when we were talking, our banter, I feel like, was very natural, like, organic. I felt like she was one of my aunties or like cousins, or like we just hit it off, and we were just talking like we've known each other for a while. So that was cool. I really enjoyed that conversation. I really like learning things. So like with Leon, I just felt like I could just listen to that guy. Like, it was so much knowledge.
Leon was incredible. And because he also sways back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, like he'll say, he's obviously very for the Hawaiian kingdom, but he'll also say like things like his take on missionaries, on how they saved Hawaii. You know?
Yeah.
Like really like hot topics.
Yeah. I like talking about those things. Chad Owens. He was just very, like, I liked listening to him because he was very well spoken, but very like inspirational. I feel like the whole time he's talking, it's just like one of those, you can clip anything he says and it becomes an inspirational video.
Hammer.
Yeah.
Chad Owens through and through. Hammer.
Yeah, so I
bro,
really,
that guy was like
really
5'7". I think he's my height, 5'7".
Yeah.
He's 5'7" with wise too, man. That guy's freaking massive.
And then I wish I had some of the early guests on now, because I feel like it'd be totally different, like Kimmy Warner. Should be cool. Yeah. Personally, I thought getting Guy Hagi was super cool when we first started the podcast. Just because, like, Guy Hagi, you know, just everybody loves Guy Hagi.
Yeah. I like Leon for sure.
Yeah.
Leon blew my mind.
Yeah. And BJ Penn, just because he was a childhood hero. Even though, you know,
you were fangirling hard, my boy.
Because people...
BJ, I just want to know that we're both Hilo boys.
I didn't say that. Yeah. But it was cool because I grew up watching him. And, like, even though he has, you know, he could be considered a controversial figure, like, that's still somebody I grew up
Kamaka likes ruffling feathers. He'll literally send me a clip and be like, no, this one's going to ruffle feathers. We have to do this one.
Well, I want people to get out of that mindset of like we can't talk about these things. Like, oh, I don't want to speak my mind because I don't want to be judged.
Yeah.
Like, we have to be able to express ourselves, and you know, I'm just hoping that bringing on people like I love it when people are honest. I love it when people call me out on certain things, you know, or just like correct me. Like in was it Kai's episode? I said like mitigating something. He's like, well, actually, mitigating is this. I was like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
Kai
you're
pulled
right.
out the philosopher for sure.
Yeah, and I like that because it's like, okay, well, because that it's a learning lesson,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, that's what I think is cool. And a lot of people always ask how I get these guests. I just DM people.
Yeah,
In the
hey
beginning-
man, cold messages work,
Yeah.
dude. That's how we got advertisers. That's how you get guests. That's how I came apart.
You kind of gotta get lucky sometimes, I guess, or to find an angle.
It's just numbers, man. Just
Yeah.
put up your numbers, and it's math. You'll convert 3%, 4%, 5%.
Yeah,
You just got to put in the numbers.
It depends how high you shoot for. Like obviously, the people with 1 million followers,
I
it's
just think
hard
people don't want to work.
hard to
Hot
reach
take.
them.
Hot
but
take. We're entitled and lazy. Hot take.
Yeah, work hard. You actually got to put in the work if you want to schedule. The hardest thing about doing the podcast is scheduling the guest.
Like Kamaka and I could be working way harder on this podcast, straight up.
Yeah, we got other things we got to do.
I don't think we're not guilty of that. I think we're guilty of it too.
Yeah. How many hours a week do you
Let's
think you
not
put
say
in?
that.
Yeah.
Let's not. We won't blast ourselves like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm posting stories every day, cutting up clips, posting them every day. That's a lot of work. Besides just the scheduling, and it's a constant thing. It's not like 9 hours straight though.
No, I think the longest times is this when we do double recordings.
Yeah.
That's probably the longest we put in.
Yeah.
Editing doesn't take that long.
Yeah, we try to record like two in a day so we can
Yeah.
we don't have to do it like every single day or like every week. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I wonder if this podcast was probably boring.
This
Think
one?
so?
This one?
You think so?
I don't know, let us know.
I have no clue.
I
dude.
think what we talked about in the beginning
I'm
was
like looking over there. I'm like, holy cow, that was an hour and 19, bro. We were just talking shit the whole time.
I think we could really rag on some other stuff, but
Let's do it. Let's do hot like
takes.
rapid fire. Like
This is for Instagram. Like majority of people probably aren't listening to this point right now. If you are, you're a real one. We appreciate you.
if you are, you're gonna get some probably
you are, get a
raunchy
life,
rated R
man.
stuff right now.
You're gonna see my feet. Toes,
Hot take. I think I'm a capitalist. Some people hate me because I'm probably using Hawaii, but this is my home, and I think as an entrepreneur, massive opportunities for local people because
how?
we're so isolated. People say Hawaii is so isolated. This sucks. It's like, dude, that is like arbitrage, and that is a strength.
That's our advantage.
That is your advantage because one, I mean, this is happening with the salon suites.
Yeah.
I won't go into detail, but that venture, it exists in the mainland. And maybe if you don't like the mainland, maybe you don't want to use that example, but look anywhere out in the world, what do they have that Hawaii hasn't received yet and can have value? And you open it up here. Why not you?
Yeah.
You know the
rather
lay of the
local
land.
person than
You know the lay of the
So,
land.
yeah.
You have the network here. You know this place better than any other businessman, businesswoman, entrepreneur out there in the world. This is your home. You know, you take advantage, put in the work, and you bring these new opportunities to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And you champion it, and it's such a big opportunity, I think.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I always feel kind of weird about people who aren't local or born and raised here having businesses here. I mean, I know a lot of people and I support them as long as it's a good business. But it is kind of like, I'm always thinking about that. Like, is that what is a local business? Is
Well,
it?
and I think if you're trying to be ethical with like trying to sow into Hawaii, it should be something that you're bringing here to bring opportunity that local people here on Hawaii, residents, can benefit from.
Yeah. That's
You
a
know,
good
it's
point.
not that we're selling it to visitors here, but it should be something, you know, if you want to feel all goody two shoe inside
Yeah.
about it, you should be looking for opportunities that you think, you know, using your own judgment, that Hawaii can benefit from.
Yeah, not that you're just benefiting from the tourists or the
Mhm.
you're taking advantage like tour companies and
Yeah, like
stuff like that.
I'm gonna be honest. hot take, like if the Amazon warehouse was here,
Didn't they buy a bunch of?
I
they
don't know.
tried?
I don't know what happened with that, but I think that's incredible. Job opportunities, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how their structure is going to be if they're going to be paying some sort of tax here, you know, but that's kind of plugging into the economy, man. That's pushing us. And then education.
Hopefully Hawaiiverse has a Amazon warehouse like that.
Like, and then I don't know. Will our shipping be better? I don't know.
Maybe we can actually get overnight shipping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But I don't know, things like that. I'm just like, there's a tremendous amount of opportunity here, you know, and there's a lot of like scenarios we can look somewhere like Singapore, Japan, small places, small islands that became huge figures in the world. And they're small and they're isolated.
That's a good point. Singapore.
Yeah.
Super wealthy.
Yeah. Now probably people are going to pick that apart and be like, well, they went through this whole, you know, geopolitical, whatever. Whatever, man. I'm just trying to drive inspiration. Just take it.
Leave them alone.
Just take it, man.
Yeah. Dang. Okay. I don't know if I have any hot takes. I mean, just people stop being angry at everybody. Stop being angry at yourself.
Go be a good human.
Stop being angry at every little thing people do. If something really bothers you, just change it. Change something about yourself, and if that doesn't work out, change something.
That's the big thing. A lot of people don't realize majority of your problems in your life are a result of yourself.
Yeah,
it's a you problem.
We just need to find excuses to like why we are the way we are.
It is a you problem. You watching right now, it is a you problem. Just write down all your problems you're having right now, top of mind. Just write it down. And I guarantee you can put you next to all of them as the source.
It comes down to you.
As the source of the problem.
What do you think your biggest problem is right now?
Mine? Lack of direction or focus, I would say. I have really ambitious goals. But I think for the past year, 2 years maybe, I did way too many things.
Yeah.
Like way too many things. Now, obviously, if we want to be all, you know, Buddha about it or whatever, like, you know, it helped me get to where I am. But I think that's my biggest thing is like, I think I need to like pick one.
That's what you're trying to do with the podcast.
Yeah. I don't know, man. And maybe that's my problem. I hop ship too fast.
Yeah. We're still here for now.
Yeah. But this one I feel better because I did what I wanted to do. I think I came on to essentially like blow it up.
So now it's quote unquote blew up. You're gonna leave us?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
That is what this episode is about.
Is this your farewell
I'm gonna build.
episode?
I built the system for you guys. I'm gonna plug in another me, and I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna go to the continent because that is where I belong.
Well, I mean, we didn't nothing signed in paper, so
that's true.
You're not gonna gain anything if you leave now.
We may have to cut that out. That nothing is signed. We might need to cut that out, guys.
Why? This is a freaking podcast.
Yeah.
This isn't no business. People look at us like we're some like professionals. We're two guys with a microphone and a camera.
That's true, people.
Like,
that's my hot take.
Yeah.
Is Kamaka is chill. I'm way too rigid with business. I think that's where most of our disagreements come from. Other than that, I think we agree on all the content, basically.
Fair, yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good synergy. I think that's why it worked in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And still to this day.
Yeah. We got some. I think 2023 will be an even bigger year.
I guess in 2023, Kamaka will become my friend.
Well, we started surfing together, so that's a step.
Like, I guess in 2023, I think that might be the year that Kamaka might be able to be saved in my contact list.
Nice. Is it because you don't have a lot of funny friends and I'm just like
no,
super
it's because
funny?
you're not 50% Hawaiian. is the thing.
Do you think I'm funny though?
Blood quantum matters.
Who cares about the blood quantum? Do you think I'm funny?
Do I think Kamaka is funny?
Do you think you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Dude, don't even come at me, bro. I had scrolls.
Do you think who's funnier, me or Sokka?
Dude, Sokka's not funny.
What? This is seriously. Sokka's so funny.
I think Sierra and I have more.
Me and Sokka, I feel like.
I think Sierra and I have more common humor than I do with you.
So Sokka is the man.
I will
Great
say,
dad jokes.
I will say we laugh a lot, though. I will say we laugh a lot.
Yeah.
I can't believe people are listening to this.
We're
literally just chilling as if you're our friend.
I forgot the camera's even rolling right now. Yeah. Well, I guess we could wrap up. I mean,
thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. This is I don't know how often we'll ever do this. This is the first time we've had to like.
Yeah, if we ever do a second
somebody.
one, it will be way more funny. I'll tell you that.
I thought this was funny.
I think I had a little filter on. I didn't know.
You had a filter? I thought we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna rag on everybody. We're gonna be raw and uncut.
I had a little filter.
Oh no! Next time, take off the filter.
Maybe we just need topics. That's the thing, because I think we were talking, and we couldn't really focus on talking because we were also thinking about where to go next.
Yeah.
So if we had like
something written down.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just get a topic list and like have it as a backup plan if anybody ever has to cancel on us.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I think I had something.
You had something written down?
Here's we'll do rapid fire questions.
Okay, nice. I love rapid fire questions.
Nah, we went over all of this.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All of it?
Yeah, because mine was about blood, human, ego, authority, home.
Pronouns?
Hot topic. I don't care about pronouns, honestly.
I'm still trying to understand them, if I'm being honest.
I don't discredit them.
Yeah.
My gripe is don't tell me what to do legally.
I don't understand. Yeah, like the
legal thing.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna take away my freedom to call you whatever I want to call you.
Yeah.
Now, am I saying if I don't say your pronouns, am I a nice guy? No, I think that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should be illegal.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be illegal for you to be sad, like offended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna, if Kamaka called me retarded, I'm not gonna call the police and say, oh my god, he called me retarded.
You're
but
not
I'm
allowed
smart.
to say that anymore.
But I'm smart. You know?
Yeah.
You need to describe me as smart because I feel bad when you call me retarded.
I don't understand the identifying thing, the gender stuff. But I would love to have conversations from people like why, like I try to see, like, look at the videos on both sides, and like I like really don't understand it yet, of like how like I have a male genitalia.
I mean, that's what I meant by like what truth are you seeking? Because for me, it hasn't even touched me yet, like in my life, in my circle of people that I go to.
Yeah, if you're not affected by it,
it's not affected by me. So what am I gonna get down in the trenches? No, and I'm sorry if that makes you sad, but I'm not.
No, it's true, because people care about some stuff that matter to them. If you're not affected by it, then same with the vaccine. Like if you didn't have a family, friend, or yourself that got fired, discriminated against for not being vaccinated, then it doesn't matter to you.
Yeah, and it's just it's like a hot take of like the Ukraine thing was a big hot take about that.
Yeah, are we affected by Ukraine?
Exactly. I don't think we are.
Yeah, I agree. Like, yes, it's sad. It's so sad. I wish we could help them.
Will that
nothing the best, but our lives personally, just right now, our lives isn't gonna change because that's happening.
Yeah,
and it's hard to feel sympathy for something that you aren't affected by directly.
Well, my thing is like just being logical about it. Objective is like, okay, I'm gonna use that. It made me feel sad. It made me feel something. It gave me perspective. Now I adjust.
Yeah, and
that's it. I don't think it's not gonna benefit you to be depressed and to look into it and get overly angry at something. You're not even gonna take action on it, bro. Like you're probably just gonna donate. You're gonna donate online to make yourself feel better.
Post about it on
Instagram to make yourself feel better.
Signaling.
And then you're gonna forget about it. Guarantee you're the same person that is materialistic because you think that showing the world that you subscribe to something.
It's virtue signaling. That's what it is. It's,
Like, I'm not saying you don't feel for them, but it's like what
It's a trend, like fads. Like we've seen this for years. It's just like something happens, people post about it to seem like they're good people, and then like a couple months later, it's like, oh, forgot that even happened.
Yeah. I
So
think like
we're the world we live in.
Yeah, I don't think people need to know everything. You don't need to seek truth. Like just freaking imagine, guys, before we had social media, you didn't care then.
Yeah.
You only care because you see it.
Yeah.
And let me challenge you, then go care about everything else too that you don't see.
Yeah.
Go throw away your iPhone because you're supporting child labor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's out of sight, out of mind. You just choose the ones you want to care about to make to make yourself feel better. That's the truth, man.
Yep. Facts.
That's
Mic
the truth.
drop.
I mean, just like, here's a hot take. Like, we like to rag on Americans. Like, I'm pretty sure for Kamehameha to unite the kingdom, it wasn't pretty.
Oh, guarantee not.
There's probably some effed up stuff he did. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a historian.
Yeah. No, I mean.
But out of sight, out of mind. We choose the ones that make us feel good.
Yeah. Exactly. Very true. And that's how we'll end the podcast.
The Boyz.
We're gonna be out of sight and out of your mind.
We're gonna be out of sight and out of your mind and never back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to endure this.
If you did, I'm very proud of you that you.
If you did, comment below. Comment below on what you.
I would love for you to comment below if you listened to this whole thing. Leave a review, or whatever it is. Just let us know how you liked it.
If you need us to be more saucy, we can be more controversial.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I think so.
All right.
The Boyz.
Rabbit, the Boyz. Mahalo everybody for listening to the Hawaiiverse Podcast. Let me try that again. How do I end it? I don't have my laptop. I'm nervous. Thank you, Jordan, for coming here and talking to us today. Mahalo, Jordan, for listening to the Hawaiiverse Podcast. Check us out on Hawaiiverse.com, the best place to support local. Spread aloha, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. New episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka, and you'll hear me next time on the Hawaiiverse Podcast. Ahui ho.